According to lawyer Solaadeyegbe, he said, the Bvas worked well and the laws in Nigeria are great. What guarantees compliance are Nigerians, not the law. We must address the individuals in Nigeria and the youths to play their roles well in forthcoming elections. He also urged that nobody should be sworn in until all these legal petitions is over. Please guys, watch the video. Do not forget to like, share and leave your comments. Thanks for watching.
The laws themselves do not guarantee compliance. The human beings themselves are the ones who do that.
INEC says it's going to spend about 3 billion to prosecute election petitions, over 100 already. INEC said it spent over 300 billion on the election. But some lawyers are even saying 3 billion is very small money. And we joke that it's chop time for lawyers, election petition lawyers. Anyway, that's not where I'm going. I'm going to the timelines. Election petitions, yes, they are complex, they are contentious, but there are specific timelines under Section 285 of the Constitution. Now, some people are saying that is a problem because it creates an opportunity for people to be encouraged to rig elections. And that's why we keep hearing everybody say, just win by any means. Once you have won, election petitions are sui generis. It will be difficult to take that certificate of return from you. Yeah. So some people are arguing that, okay, if that is the case, is it possible to do something about that Section 285? So that, you just leave it open. You don't say, as the law says, that you cannot extend beyond the 180 days. What do you think? Some people are also saying, however, the petitions should be determined before inauguration so that the electorate is not presented with a fait accompli. If a man is elected president, he's already been sworn in, he has established his cabinet, he's already running fake meeting, and then the case is going on in court. After the 180 days, you now say, oh, leave the office. That's why people say, don't bother. Election petitions in Nigeria, we have not really worked out the jurisprudence. But what do you think?
I think that we should strive to settle all petitions before inauguration, especially when it concerns the presidency. Because after being sworn in, the person becomes an incumbent. And the power of incumbency can never, ever be underrated. For that reason alone, I will support the Justice Way's report that also suggests something like that we should strive to settle all petitions before inauguration. That should be best practice, not allow it to spill away. Because even this one that we have now, you can still appeal and have two more months to determine the appeal on the 180 days. So that is a bit too long.
So you are saying that many of the people who have gone to tribunals, they are at a disadvantage in terms of fair hearing because the law creates that situation.
The law only gives you the upper limit. And we should get to the point in Nigeria where we should do what is right. If I was told to be here for a 10 o'clock program. I got here for 9 because I know that if anything may change, you may also say, look, I'm ready for you now. Or anything else can just happen. I should be here to rest and relax before the program. So if I'm given as adjudicator 180 days, I don't have to wait for 180 days to decide. I can decide in a month. I can decide in 30 days. Because the issues are going to be quite clear. They're in writing. The petitioner will state his own case. The respondents will state their own case. And you look at it and decide. Look at the case law, look at the arguments, and then decide. You don't have to wait until the last day. It will be best practice to do what is right within time. Within, not at the extreme. Even the people who are also making their own cases also waited. They are given 21 days or so to file.
Yes, they waited till the last day.
Why should you do that?
No, but that was because they didn't give them the chance to be able to, inspect the materials. And remember how that went. That was also because even to serve the people involved was problematic, that they even had to go get an expertise to be able to serve them. We all know all of that going on. But the question I'd like to ask you is, are we not opening an invitation for violence and anarchy in our electoral process if with all of these loopholes now, we'll be able to establish the fact that, and like politicians say, the best thing for them is to win at all costs. And they know that when they go to tribunal, because it is the proof, the burden of proof is on the person taking you to tribunal, it's almost difficult to overturn. So they do everything, including violence, to kill and win at all costs. Is that not subversion of the electoral will of the people? Yeah. So are we not setting a bad precedence? Because if that's the case, some people will argue that not anybody has a monopoly of violence. Is that the society where we ought to be building, or we ought to be building a society of transparency?
Okay, you see, let me just address that question by saying that the laws themselves do not guarantee compliance. The human beings themselves are the ones who do that. The United Kingdom has what we call an unwritten constitution, but it's still being followed by people that we call honorable people. Now, you can have 1 million laws, you can have tons and tons of electoral laws. If you're not willing to follow it, if you're always thinking of how to subvert it, you will actually succeed, because that's your intention, even from day one. So from the drafters to the people who are going to implement it, they are thinking of how to circumvent it. So we must all address the individual in Nigeria. Do I want good for my country? Am I willing to be that good Nigerian who want to make things work? Without that, nothing will work. So what we have today is actually great law. The electoral law today is great. The Bvas is great. The IREV is great. The fact that parties have photocopies from the polling units and they can scan it with their phone to their own situation room is great. By that same evening, by midnight that day, you have the result in your hands. If you have able people working for you. So it works.
Some people will say that if you are not forced under duress to even sign the sheet in the first place.
Again, how many can you do? Out of 176,000 polling units in Nigeria. You can do that. You can do that. Then you'll be caught. People will tape you. People will record you. It will be seen. And we saw many of them today. In Rivers State, Mr. Peter came to the station to showcase such nonsense that people put on IREV. It will be seen that, you see, many people don't know yet this Bvas and the IREV, how they work. I give it 2 more election rounds. All that will stop, because they will know that it is futile. If you do it, you will be found out.
No, people are getting away with it.
They can't get away with it.
Okay.
Well, it's not everybody that believes that everything is great about our electoral process. And since it's now post-election and we're dealing with petitions, 1, under election petitions, you are required to just demonstrate that there has been substantial compliance. Will you say that in this election, there has been substantial compliance? 2, the presumption of regularity is structured in favor of the Electoral Commission, INEC. This same INEC that people are protesting and condemning and saying that INEC dropped the ball. Will you say that that is fair in determining election petitions? And 3, the burden of proof. Some people are saying, look, the burden of proof on the petitioner is too heavy. Why not ask INEC to come and prove that he's able to do well? So there are persons who have raised such questions. So to that extent, will you say that everything is great with the process?
Thank you very much. I want to reiterate the fact that we should look at the individual. When I say great, I'm not meaning to pander to anybody, INEC or whoever, but to say that the regulation, I'm a lawyer and I'm talking of the regulation actually. The regulation and the law itself is what I'm saying, I'm extolling as well thought out, as great. But the operators, INEC and other players, may not be that great or honorable. That again, I cannot say. And about whether INEC has complied substantially remains in the hands of the tribunals to decide for us. It will be sub judice for me to come on here and be saying that INEC complied substantially. And for INEC, I want to I want to draw from what a learned senior has said right before now, that we may also begin to see INEC as coming forward to just give evidence and not be made a party. That also has its own difficulty, because even if it's not a party, everybody wants to appear as clean as possible. You want to show that you've done a good job of what you had. But INEC itself can be unbundled. What do I mean by that? I mean, they do everything now, from logistics, moving people around Nigeria as a whole, printing of the ballot. All that can be broken to other bodies and let INEC do the oversight of the election itself.
Okay, and not always reports.
Yeah. Those are the things I've drawn from that as well. So these are the things I think we should look at now to make things better for us.
Okay.